Jean Nicolas Arthur Rimbaud was one of the finest poets the world has ever seen. He was born on 20th October 1854 in the provincial town of Charleville in northeastern France. His parents were Frédéric Rimbaud, who was an infantry captain, and Marie Catherine Vitali Cuif. Archer's childhood saw the gradual estrangement of his parents, and it was somewhat sombered by the authoritative and at times torturous influence of his mother. Archer, along with his elder brother Frederick, was schooled at Pension Rossa. As a boy, Rimbaud was small and pale, with light brown hair and a lovely pair of eyes. After completing school, he and his brother were sent to the college de Charleville. Here he came in contact with George Isambard, a young teacher who cast an enormous influence on the budding poet. However, as the Franco-Prussian War between Napoleon III's Second French Empire and the Kingdom of Prussia broke out in 1870, the college was closed. Rimbaud, becoming restless and bored, ran away from home. Since then, Rimbaud developed into quite a bohemian character. Later, he developed a highly debatable relationship with Paul Verlaine, an eminent symbolist poet. Together, they came to London in September 1872 and lived in poverty. The relationship between Verlaine and Rimbaud came to a climactic point when the former, in a drunken rage, fired a shot at Rimbaud, wounding his left wrist. Rimbaud took to traveling across Europe, mostly on foot, and in 1876 he enlisted as a soldier in the Dutch colonial army to get free passage to Java. 4 months later, he deserted the army. He finally settled in Aden, Yemen, where he became a merchant of coffee and firearms. In 1891, he fell acutely sick with a nagging pain in his right knee, and eventually it had to be amputated. The post-operative diagnosis revealed that it was osteosarcoma, a type of bone cancer. He passed away on November 10. Rimbaud, as a poet, was inspired by the works of Charles Baudelaire, and later he influenced several art and literary movements like symbolism, Dadaism, and Surrealism. A small green valley where a slow stream flows and leaves long strands of silver on the bright grass. From the mountain top stream the sun's rays. They fill the hollow full of light. A soldier, very young, lies open-mouthed, a pillow made of fern beneath his head, asleep, stretched in the heavy undergrowth, pale in his warm green sun-soaked bed. His feet among the flowers, he sleeps. His smile is like an infant's, gentle, without guile. Ah, nature, keep him warm, he may catch cold. The humming insects don't disturb his rest. He sleeps in sunlight, one hand on his breast, at peace. In his side there are two red holes. The first stanza of the poem begins with the description of a green, lustrous valley surrounded by mountains. It proudly presents a stream, a silvery brook, which leaves strands of silver on the bright green grass. From the mountain tops, rays of the sun cascade down to fill the valley full of light. This opening stanza of the poem is remarkable for several aspects. In this, the poet presents the pristine, immaculate beauty of nature, all bright and colorful. The play of color and light, bright green grass, silvery strands of water on the grass, streaming sun rays, fill the minds of the reader with a sense of aesthetic pleasure, a feeling of throbbing beauty. In the second stanza, we find a very young-aged soldier lying on the grass of the valley. He has his lips ajar and his head is rested on the wild ferns of the valley. The bushy thicket serves as his bed, and the chill in the air is suitably prevented by sunny warmth of the grass and the bushes. The seemingly asleep soldier is marked by his paleness. His face is pale. This paleness is in direct contrast with the bright colors of the surroundings. The grass is green, the stream is silvery, the valley is sun-soaked. But against this backdrop, the soldier's face and the body is pale. The reader is subconsciously pricked with the question, is something amiss? The image of the sleeping soldier is brought forward in the third stanza, or the sestet. The soldier sleeps peacefully, his feet among the flowers. The image gradually awakens in us the sensation, the beautiful, pristine, life exuding nature is acting like a mother. The mother who cradles her baby, who makes her baby to sleep on her lap. The soldier's smile is also like an infant's. To quote the poet, it is gentle without guile. Now the question arises, why without guile? The soldier, though here depicted as an infant, a child, is really not an infant. He is a grown-up man, and the worldly ways train a grown-up man to imbibe the negative qualities such as deceptiveness or guile. We must understand that the poet here deliberately sketches the soldier bereft of that vice in order to make him pure and innocent, like a baby to be affectionately caressed by its mother. In the next line, the poet makes an invocation to Mother Nature. He wants nature to keep him warm so that the intense icy chill in the air doesn't do him any harm. The buzzing of insects like bees or beetles is a part of this motherly nature. The soldier is asleep. The drone of the insects can disturb him in his sleep. But there is no such disturbance. The soldier is so fast asleep, even the buzzing sound cannot wake him up. The soldier sleeps in sunlight, an amazing piece of imagery. Sunlight is the soul of all life form. Sunlight provides life. It disperses all sorts of darkness but the soldier sleeps in that glaring luminance. He keeps one hand on his breast, the ultimate sign of peacefulness, and also resignation to fate. The last line of the poem gives us the final jolt. In his side there are two red holes. It is at this point the final revelation is made. The soldier is not simply asleep, he is actually dead. The two red holes in his side are actually the marks of incision made by bullets, ruthless, callous bullets which have snatched away the life from him. The effect is absolutely piercing. The theme of the poem, Asleep in the Valley, is based upon the poet's concept about warfare. We have already come to know that Arthur Rimbaud participated in the Dutch colonial army and he had some first-hand experience of warfare. So he quite closely came to know about the devastating nature of battle and how it proves to be disastrous for young men. So in this poem, in this sonnet, he deals with the theme of the ruthlessness of war, the destructivity of war, and also the vainness, the fruitlessness of war. In this poem, he presents the soldier, young soldier, at the backdrop of shining, throbbing nature. Nature is the creation of, we can say, God. God created everything in this world and everything is very much beautiful, very much bright and filled with vivacity. But when we see the soldier, his body, his face directly contrasts with the glittering light of the surrounding nature. His body, his face is pale, and not only pale, he is asleep. So it is as if the poet wants to say that the soldier has been taken into the lap of nature, Mother Nature, like her infant, when he is dead and he had a lot of promises to keep, but he could not. The ruthless nature of the human society, which embodies itself in the concept of war, has totally destroyed him. So this destruction of a beautiful creation of nature, a beautiful creation of God, is presented by the poet through the symbolic two red holes. The theme is about the destructive nature of war and why we should totally abolish warfare from our society. Asleep in the Valley is a sonnet. It is written in the fashion of the Italian or the Petrarchan sonnet, which consists of an octave and a sestet. Now in this sonnet, the rhyme scheme is quite remarkable. In the first quatrain, the poet uses the rhyme scheme as AB, AB, flows bright sun's light. So AB, AB. In the second quatrain, the rhyme scheme is CD, CD. That means open-mouthed, head, undergrowth, bed. So it is C, D, C, D. So here in the octave part, we get the rhyme scheme as A, B, C, D, C, D. Now in the sestet part, the rhyme scheme is not like the Petrarchan one as C, D, E, C, D, E or C, D, C, D, C, D. Rather it is E, E, F, G, G, H. How? We have to read the sestet part then. His feet among the flowers he sleeps, his mile. So the ending syllable is mile of the first line. Second line is like an infant's gentle without guile. So smile rhymes with guile. E, E. Third line, our nature keep him warm, he may catch cold. So it is F. Similarly, the next three lines, the last syllables are raised, braced and holes. So it is G, G, H. So the entire rhyme scheme of this sonnet is A, B, C, D, C, D, E, E, F, G, G, H. So here the poet does not follow the Petrarchan style. There is another thing. If we talk about the volta or the turn in a sonnet, generally in the Petrarchan sonnet, the volta or the turn comes just after the octave and just at the beginning of the sestet part. But here we can see that the entire argument is continued about the soldiers sleeping upon the green valley. We presume that the soldier is asleep throughout the sonnet. At the last line, the last sentence of the last line, we get to know, or rather the poet reveals to us that the soldier is actually dead. He had been shot by some enemy soldier and it is his dead body which is lying upon the valley. So if we talk about the volta or the turn, then it comes here. This is also not according to the lines of Petrarch or the Italian sonnet. However, this is a sonnet and the lyrical quality is quite discernible.